Okay, so Shirley, can you tell me where you were born in Pirton?
I was born down Hall Road, number 9,
Yes.
which later became 18.
Oh right, yes, they changed the
Yes.
numbers.
Yes, yeah.
And what was that called? That row?
Oh, it was, or otherwise known as Mary Arse Row, or the 12 Apostles, whichever way you looked at it.
Was that before the war?
I was born just.
Just.
I was born in April 39.
Oh, well, oh right, okay. So you sort of went through the war as a baby.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And you lived in that house until, how old were you when you left?
I was. We were 10. I was 10 when we moved up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got council house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in the house just your mum and dad, or?
No, there was 4 children. I have 3 brothers and myself.
Yes.
Yes.
Who were your brothers?
Pardon?
Who were the brothers?
My older brother is Morris. He lives in America.
Oh gosh.
And Dennis, he lives in Shepperton, and a younger brother Derek, who lives in Henlow.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Quite tight.
Bit of a squash in that
Bit
house.
of a squash. Not a lot of room in the bedroom, but we managed.
Well, how did you sleep in? How did you manage in the bedroom then?
Well, the big boys had a double bed.
Yeah.
I had a single bed, and my brother Derek had a little put-you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were your mum and dad in a separate?
In the little red bedroom at the back. Yeah.
So just 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, just 2 bedrooms.
What about
No bathroom.
No bathroom.
No bathroom.
How did you have a bath then?
Friday nights.
Yes.
Down came the tin bar.
Yes.
On went the copper.
Yeah.
Lots of hot water. So Derek and I had nice fresh water. Then the big boys, then Mum, and then Dad. He got the rough end of the stick.
It must have been cold by then.
Other than that, it was just a wash in the sink.
Yeah. But you had running water in the house then?
We had running water and we had a loo indoors.
Indoors? That's quite unusual for...
Yeah, it is. The remains of the old dirt closets were still up the top of the garden.
Oh,
so
were they?
Yeah, there was. I don't know if anybody was using them, but we certainly didn't.
Yeah. And what about cooking areas? What was in the kitchen?
In the kitchen was an old black leaded range, a small one.
Yeah.
And an ordinary fireplace in the living room.
Did she use the range? Did your mum?
Yes, I think Mum did at the beginning. I think we had a cooker later, an electric cooker, but I think it was used. Yeah. Yes.
And a fire in the front room to keep you warm.
Oh gosh, yeah, always banked up. Yeah.
No central heating.
No central heating. Ice on the windows.
In the winter.
Very pretty patterns.
What about electric and run? You got running water, but you got electric too.
Yes.
Because some houses at that time.
No, I know. I don't. I can't remember anybody being off. But my granny at Shillington, she was still on lamps. But
Was she?
yeah, but we didn't have lamps. No, we had electric.
Yeah. And what about when doing washing and things like that?
Well, out in the barn, which was a sort of lean-to barn at the back of the kitchen, we had a bricked-in boiler.
Oh yeah.
But so they had to be stoked up on a Monday morning.
Yes.
Well, and stoked up for the bath too. So that's where you got.
Oh, is that how you got the hot water?
Yeah.
You only had a cold tap then?
Yeah, you only had a cold tap.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So it was either kettles on the range.
Yes.
Can't even remember if we had an electric kettle then. I don't know, but whatever. Get up early on a Monday and boil the copper up, and then all the sheets and everything would be boiled up.
Oh right.
And then your dirty things would go in next.
After the sheets.
After the sheets, after the clean things, and then a mangle, a big old-fashioned mangle.
Oh, what was that like?
Great big old thing, with a little bathtub underneath it, and then Mum used to have to roll it all out. But the washing always looked nice.
And was the mangling all done by hand?
All done by hand, stir, yeah, round and round and round.
Yeah.
Heavy work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what about drying your stuff?
I'd line up right up the garden all the way up.
There were long gardens, weren't there?
No, very long gardens. Yeah. Yes.
So the
No.
mangle and the copper were in a lean-to at the back?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the loo was in there as well.
Oh,
It was
right,
just
okay.
like a little built-in loo there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's
What about ironing and stuff like that?
ironing.
Yeah.
I think in those days, Mum used to, if dangerous work, I think she used to untake a bulb out and then put a lead up into it, and do the ironing.
Yeah.
But Aunt Jane, who lived next door,
Yes.
I mean, she was still putting metal iron irons onto the range at the front, you know, to hot
Oh,
up.
right, yes. And she was still using
She
that?
was still doing that.
Yeah.
And my great granny,
So Aunt Jane and your great-granny were in the same house?
yes,
Next door to you?
next door to us,
And what was Aunt Jane's house? Was it just like yours, or
Not quite so modern.
in what way?
Well, it was, our floor was level,
Yeah.
hers was still dirt floor with, you know, tiles on top, all higgledy-piggledy.
Yes.
As I say,
Rugs.
great granny was she died when I was 5, so
Yeah.
she was 92.
Gosh.
Yeah. So their things weren't quite so modern.
No. Did
Yeah.
they have those pegged rugs? Those rag
Yeah.
rugs?
Yeah. Well, everybody did that. You've got a piece of sacking and a
Yeah.
what do you call them?
A prodder?
Prodder thing that you pull rags through. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, make rags for either the door or the front of the fire.
So what were the where did you get your rags?
Old clothes, old coats, and anything really.
Yeah,
And
yes.
make your own patterns and peg away.
What about clothes for you? Did your mum make clothes or
No,
anything?
my mum wasn't clever like that. Second hand, I'm afraid. Most things were hand-me-downs.
What jumbo? How did you get?
I think, jumble sales. They used to have jumble sales, but my aunts were all a little bit older than me. Oh, not much older than me. They were in their teens, so I used to get lots of hand-me-downs from them.
Yeah.
I mean, underclothes and things like that
Yeah.
were always new, but
Yes, dresses, shoes.
Yeah.
What about shoes?
Oh God, I remember having new shoes.
Yeah.
Didn't hardly walk in them. Didn't want to wear them out. You know. No, they were
Special.
what you could get hold of really.
Yes.
The 4 of us, it was a job to keep us all
Yes.
in. Yeah.
Well, it was wartime. It was
And
just
wartime too.
and
you said.
wartime.
And wartime.
And rationing.
Yes.
Did you remember rationing?
Yes, I do remember. And the ration books and. You know,
What did you do with ration books then?
I used to play with them after the war because they was good for playing shops. Yeah, but they used to have to. I don't know. If you wanted some bacon, you used to have to tear a little
Squares.
square off. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. What about food generally? Did you do your own, grow your own, or what?
Oh yes, we grew our own,
Where was that?
and we had a good poacher for a grandfather.
Oh.
So, we never was sure. I can't remember being hungry or starving and you know desperate for food. Put it like that. It was always plenty of food.
What sort of poaching? What did you get from poaching?
I used to have rabbits,
Rabbits, yeah.
an occasional pheasant.
Pheasant. Oh right. Oh yes.
Yeah. Well, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Jugged hare and all sorts of things they used to do.
Did that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
I can even remember having a lamb's tail stew once.
what's
Well, when they used to dock the lamb's tails for some reason. I don't think they
got
do that
dirty
now.
or something. I think that
Yeah, to stop them getting.
fleas or
Yeah.
not fleas.
And I can remember them being skinned and put in. I suppose it made a flavour. Whatever. There was always something. There was always something, and a chunk of bread.
Yeah. What were you telling me about? Your grandma did special food. With
Oh, Granny Fur used to make lovely things. Yeah, from the butchers, from, I can't, well, it would have been Milner then, it would have been his
Harry.
Harry, yes, yeah. And if he killed a pig, he would do pig's bellies and clean them all out for Granny. And she used to make a thing called armadillo pig, which I used to love. It was pig skin, crackling. And she just used to put stuffing on it and roll it, and roll it, and roll it, and roll it until it looked like a top side of beef sort of thing, size.
Yeah.
And I suppose boil it for hours, I suppose. It used to cut up lovely.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about vegetables and things like that? How did you get them?
Well, we had a garden, we had a bit of grass, and we had at the back a few vegetables, but the houses each had their own allotments, and down on the corner opposite Bertie Bob's.
Yeah.
And there was also, I can remember when I was really young, that they had allotments the other side of the road before the council houses were built. There were allotments there, and so yeah, we grew quite a lot of food.
Yeah.
And of course, we used to have to go gleaning
What's that?
after there'd been potato picking, and we used to just go and shuffle about on the ground as you walked, and the potatoes that they hadn't turned up, you could get 100 weight of potatoes easily.
Yeah.
And of course, we used to have to go and glean corn for the chickens.
Oh, you kept chicken. Oh, you got.
Yeah,
oh,
well,
right.
yeah.
Did you glean it
Aunt
after?
Jane had chickens, yeah. And then we used to have to go and, glean a bunch of that, just walking around the field picking up
Yeah.
what the harvester didn't.
Yeah. What about peas? Because there were quite a lot of peas.
Yeah.
growing.
Well, peas weren't really in the village enough to go
No. Bother with that.
unless you,
Went further or out the field.
yeah. Well, as I got a little bit older, you used to go scrumping and get
Ooh.
pockets full of peas.
Kids,
Yeah.
they didn't miss them.
No, they didn't miss them.
What,
Well, if they did, they didn't say.
What about milk?
Milk, Topo used to come round. I stewed with the horse and cart first, I think. I can't remember. I can remember getting milk in a jug.
What do you mean?
Well, take an empty jug out and I'll have 2 pints, please, or whatever.
So did you keep it in a churn?
In a churn, yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah.
So where did who was Topo? Where did she come from?
She came from Whedon's farm. What's that called? I can't remember.
Rectory Farm?
Rectory Farm, that's it. Yeah, that's where she used to go. And before that, because it was Tom Lake, wasn't it? He used to do the milk as well. I can't remember quite where Mum got her bread, but we had a choice in the village. I think there was about 4 or 5 bakers, wasn't there?
Yeah, yes. But which were the nearest bakers to you?
Bertie Bob,
And where was that?
just on the corner of Hole Road. Not 2 steps away. I can remember knocking on the door and asking, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, they used to bake our Christmas cakes.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
When they finished baking the bread, if
Yeah.
you've got a Christmas cake
Yeah.
ready, you put it in,
Oh.
cook it up for us.
And that was quite a lot of people they
Oh
did
yes,
that for.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, you said Bertie Bob and you said Topo. What were these nicknames?
Well, yeah. Her name was Phyllis Whedon, really.
And did
And she
everybody?
was, her and her 2 brothers ran. Well, I suppose in those days it was her dad, but I didn't really know him. But the boys
Yeah.
and her.
Did they all have nicknames then?
Yes, everybody had a nickname. My dad was Mutzer, and nobody called him. His name was Fred, really, but
Why did they call him Mutzer?
I don't know. He's always been a Mutzer.
What about your mum?
She didn't have a nickname.
She was Eva.
She came from Shillington. She was Eva, yeah.
Oh.
She was one of 10. My dad was one of 10. So I've got lots of aunts and uncles and cousins. I haven't got a clue where they are or who they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about what about meats then? What about butchers? Was there butchers?
There was the butcher's up there, Harry. He used to do it, and then Milner, his son, took over.
Yeah, the Davies.
And the High Street, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
So how?
opposite where the post office is now.
Oh, I know. And what about the meat? Did he do all sorts of meat, or did he kill the
Yeah.
meat himself, or what?
Yes, he used to kill. As far as I know, he used to kill in the little shed. It's still there next to the pond.
Yes.
Yeah. He used to slaughter his own in those days. And
What about groceries and stuff?
well, I think Mum used to get all our groceries there. And I suppose she did go to Hitchin, but I don't think she ever bought. I think they used to buy flour and sugar and buy a bag full, didn't they?
Mm.
And scoop it into a bag. Yeah, rather
Blue bag.
not packed up ready for you.
No.
Yeah.
You had as much as you wanted.
So I can't really remember much about her doing a shopping. She must have had to do a lot, bless her.
Yeah.
But there was also a sort of a van that came round with some bit like hardware-y stuff I can remember. You know,
Yes.
I don't know, paraffin, for instance, and things like that.
Yes.
He used to sell at the door.
What would you do with
Scrubbers.
paraffin? What would you do with
Well,
paraffin?
because we had lamps and oil stoves, she used to cook on an oil stove.
What's an oil stove?
How did you describe it? It was a little oil with a funnel and a top, and the saucepan sat on top.
Oh, it was by the oil was paraffin.
Paraffin, yeah, oil, yeah. Cooked by flame, yes.
I remember paraffin heaters.
Yeah.
To keep you warm.
No, they used to cook by paraffin stoves.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.